Hey, hi, hello there, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can install Node.js and Angular on your Windows machine. So I have Windows 11 on my machine, and I will show you what are the steps. It's really easy. There are two main software that you need to take care of. Those are Node.js, and the second one is Angular. So Node.js basically it is your runtime environment that you need to have. It is not specific to only your Angular. Basically, any JavaScript framework that you want to run outside of your browser, you need to have a runtime environment that will support the JavaScript code execution. So for that, we need a Node.js. So we have to download the latest one, the stable one. So I will download the 16.18 here, and this is the site for your Node.js. Download nodejs.org. From there, you can get it, and then you have to go to angular.io. This is the official site for your Angular, and I think got it. Yeah, is it opening? Yeah, it's there. So this is the setup window for the Node.js, and as you can see, it's saying that the setup wizard will install Node.js on your computer. I will just simply click on next, accept the license agreement, which are basically open source license. You don't need to worry about it. I can provide whatever path I want, but usually I prefer to keep it in the program files. Next, and then these are the things that the setup will do. It will install the Node.js runtime, then core pack manager, npm package manager, which we need to download the dependencies, and it will add a path into our system environment so that we can execute the command from the command line. So I'll just simply click on next. I don't need the Python and Visual Studio build tools because I'm not going to work with such a kind of a node modules, but sometimes some npm packages have the dependencies on this Python and the Visual Studio build tools. So that time you may need to think about that whether you have to go with this option or not. So for now, I will just leave this and we'll go to next and install. So once you have the Node.js successfully installed, you see this kind of a window here. You just click on the finish and it's installed now. So second thing you have to do is to install Angular, and there's a dependency between the Node.js version and the Angular version. There is a compatibility. You need to have a look over that. If you are going to install a specific version of Angular, it need to have a specific version of Node.js, or at least the version which is above a specific version, so that it can run in your system. So I have a simple CSV file that I created that I will show you quickly, which shows that this is the compatibility between Node.js and the Angular version. So I'm going to give you the link of this CSV from where you can check. So this is what we have here. So we are not going to go with the older version, but it is good to know if you have any older version in your application and that maybe you want to upgrade. So it is good for you to know that this is the Node.js version that we'll have. So currently the latest one we have now in the 2022 October is the Node.js 16 version, and for that you can see the Angular CLI and the Angular versions are the 14 and the 15. So it will work flawlessly if you have the Node.js version 16 install and Angular version either 14 or the 15 install. Okay, so now once I have my Node.js setup, I will go to the angular.io, and there I go to the get started, and this is really simple and easy to understand site. You just go there and you don't need to even I would say follow my this tutorial. If you just go to the introduction, you will be able to see that what steps you need to perform. Set up your environment. This is the page where you will see the steps required for your Angular setup. So now we are going to perform them. So I have created this directory. I'm going to open my command prompt here, and now I'm going to execute this commands that are mentioned in the documentation. So I'll put npm install -g. G stand for the global installation, and I'm going to provide the angular slash CLI. So angular slash CLI basically it is the core package that contains your Angular framework related stuff. And you can also provide the specific version. If you want to install a specific version, you can provide an additional @ here, and you can provide the version like 12.13.1 like this. So you can whenever you have to do installation, you can specify that. But if you don't give that, it is going to install the latest one. So I'll just hit this command and see. Okay, so I have it. very silly mistake. Okay, so now I can see that it has added 209 new packages. So that means I have my Angular installation done, which is global. So now I think I can create my Angular application. There are some additional steps they have mentioned in the documentation that you need to set the execution policy scope, current user execution policy. Those are required if in the Windows client in the some operating system that execution of the PowerShell script is disabled. So if you face such kind of an error, you need to just execute this one single command in your PowerShell, and that will allow you to basically install your Angular. Okay, so once I have this, I will go to my VS Code. You need to have an VS Code installed there. So for the VS Code, we are using the VS Code just as an editor here. You can use anything, but this is the most popular one we have. So I'll open my VS Code in that directory, and I will simply show you how you can create a first app. So I'm opening my terminal, and in the terminal I have to put the command as ng new, and then I have to provide the name of my Angular application. So that you can see that there is a command that is highlighted here in the yellow, which is ng. So basically ng is the command that that is basically comes from your @Angular CLI when you did that global installation. It means that ng, whatever part which comes after your ng, that is being handled by your Angular CLI. So this is kind of a custom command, custom defined command from Angular, and you can whatever you do basically engine new that I'm using here to create a new app, or sometimes you do something different related to if you want to create a component that will have a look in the later part. So all you do through the ng command. So here I will just go ahead with engine new my app, and it will take some time to create the app. It will ask me for some configuration that I want to have in my application, like uh, if I want to provide the logs to uh, if I want to provide the logs, yeah, usage data to the policies.google, I don't want to, so I'll just click on N. So whether I want routing or not. So in this application, I want routing, so I will click on yes. I will talk about routing, what it is, and then which style sheet version I want. So there are options available, like if I can go with CSS, SCSS, SAS, and less. So when you click on this, it will also need to have and those SCSS and the SAS compiler available. So in my application, I don't need this, but I will just go with a plain CSS, for which I don't need any dependency on any module. So as you can see, it is creating the directory, it is creating the project structure. So this is what we call a scaffold project, and this is one of the very uh, good feature of Angular, that whenever you create a new project, you don't have to create the files manually like you do in the React. Here you just run the ng commands and it will provide you the entire project structure which is ready to use. Okay, so after some time I can see that my ng new command has completed, and I can see that it has created these files under my app folder, and there are some installations also it did. So creating a file is a really fast operation, but to download these node modules which we basically needs in order to make our Angular application compilable, it has a dependency on like TypeScript, it needs a Webpack, then it needs to execute our application which is compiled into JavaScript into on the Chrome or any browser. So for that it needs an HTTP server. So those all your dependencies are downloaded when you create an ng new app. So that's why it takes a time to download it and put it in your node modules. So now you can see that there are these files created along with Angular. So I will talk about this file in the next tutorial. What does it mean and what is their significance? But for now, what we have here is a new application created, and we can now make it up and we can see that how it looks. So yes, Angular basically it provides a lot of things to you already. We call it that as a scaffold code, so you can get started easily. So let me execute this command ng serve. I can provide a flag -o, which means that I want to open the browser when the build is successful. And it says that I'm outside of my directory, which is true here. I need to go to my app. Now I'll do ngservo, and this will do a quick compilation of my Angular application. It will build it and then it will open it in the browser. So as you can see, it has compiled the application and it already opened it in the Chrome, and I can see that I have my localhost running on the 4200 port. This is the default port that we have, and as I was talking that they have a lot of boilerplate code they provide along with when you create a new project. So this is what you get, and now I think you're ready to go and you can do the changes whatever you want. So let me just simply go to the apps and I will go to the index.html. There I will have a single app root. This is the root level selector I have. So instead of this app root, I just put anything which I want. Hello Angular. So you can see that it's quickly compiling that on the real time, and it would have I just need to do an refresh here and it would have changed the content. So yes, this is really simple. Ng serve is the command that you use, which basically does two operations. It does a build and it serves, but in the real time scenarios, in the production scenarios, you don't do an ng serve. It is for the development. You have to go with another command, which is ng build, and then you get the artifacts into your dist folder where from where you can then use it to host it in any backend on any server wherever you want. Okay, since we have set up the Angular application and we are going to use the VS Code in the future, so I want to tell a couple of shortcuts here for the Windows. If you have to do the global search, you have to just press the Control Shift F, and from there you can do a search of any keyword that you want, and it will search that keyword in the entire project. If you want to search for the file, you have a shortcut Control Shift P, and sorry, Control Shift P is for your command. If you have to, it will show you the list of commands that are possible there, and if you have to search for the file, you have Control P. You can search for the file, so I can type app.module and I can see it here. So yeah, this is handy. There are other shortcuts also that I will maybe talk about in the another video. So for this, I think we are good with the installation of Angular and we have our application running.